Hello, hello, welcome back. This is Ksenia Guides Light, and this is part 3 of letting go of emotions and attachments and just learning about our feelings, emotions, and how to let go and be free. And we're just gonna recap a little bit about what we found out the last time. And if you haven't seen it yet, go back and check it out. So we discovered that the thoughts are created by our underlying emotion, the feeling that is unconscious to us. We are not aware of its existence at times. And the feeling is playing out the scenarios to manifest. So it's creating situations for you to experience this underlying feeling, continue, and then these feelings creating new thoughts, new dialogues, new realities where we live in by pursuing the thoughts, but overthinking, by becoming more and more indulged in the process and creating more and more pressure. And then the pressure of unprocessed emotions that creates this anxiety, that constant fear, constant noise in your head, this always kind of something is bothering you. This is the pressure of that underlying emotion, feeling that is screaming out loud to be let go, to be acknowledged and to be released. And so our mind, to save us of the mental breakdown or whatever, creates the scenarios in life to help us release that emotion, that pressure. So we see it as like situations keep repeating itself, making you feel a certain way over and over again, and you think it's a fate, it's karma, or whatever. But actually, your body creates, your mind creates that scenario, that opportunity to release. To the more you feel that feeling or emotion, so the more you can release it from your body and you release that pressure. So it's until at least it becomes unconscious again, so you're kind of on a comfortable level of feeling it somewhere deep down. But at this now moment, after having this little breakdown or breakout of the feeling, maybe some kind of tears and feelings, and then like 15-20 minutes later you feel kind of little release at the moment. You're like, oof, like you feel that, like, you let out that that fire, that whatever. So you let it out, but it's still there. But at least you kind of can function for a little while until it spouts back up again, and then something else coming up to help you to release that. And so the idea of this mechanism, letting go, and me doing this series, is just to help myself and help others in my community to realize that we are running by a program of that unreleased or underlying feeling and emotion in our body. And that's why sometimes people don't know why they're doing things that they're doing. It's just because they're not aware of that underlying feeling that is driving them. And so to realize that our real self is the space between thoughts, is the field of silent understanding. So when in the moment, we're actually very aware, and it's natural process of letting go, when we feel this pure flow, feel ourselves as a field of understanding, is the moments when we are in a creative process and something that we love doing, and that we don't kind of necessarily need to think about it. It's just like something that we enjoy doing. And when we're doing it, noticing how your mind is quiet and you don't think about what you're doing, you're just doing what you're doing, and without any resistance, and without any effort, without any force. You're just functioning without stress. You're just in the moment doing the thing, and you're kind of there, and it's happening, and you can realize that you actually don't need thoughts. You're in a moment, relaxed, but busy is just there. It's now a moment. And you don't think about anything, you know. And that's the moment, that's the key point where you want to go with this mechanism. If you choose to be on a path, and if you choose to let go and choose to be free of, you know, enslavement of the mind, of the unconscious. So it's the more feelings from unconscious you bring to the conscious, more you in control of yourself, and you're aware of the emotions, and then there's less triggers, and then you less prone to lose yourself and become the emotion. And so just, yes, reiterating that the letting go first steps of this process is to start letting go of the desire to pursue your thoughts, to pursue them, to interact with the thoughts, to create these false realities and to live in them in your head. So we start, first step is to letting go of that desire and having tools to shift yourself out of starting thinking into going to feeling. So the same comes with like trying to mentally explain yourself or think about why why you're feeling the way you're feeling, or what happened, and why they did that, and all of that, you know, thinking, rationalizing, analyzing, overanalyzing, going back and forth. Is again, you perpetuate an inner thought process that keeps you far away from actually releasing the feeling, and keeps you busy thinking, instead of actually addressing the thought, the emotion underneath the thought. And so yeah, so the technique is very, very, very effective. And so again, reminding the resistance will come up, because when we choosing to stop perpetuating the ego and allowing it to run us and starting taking control, this diminishes ego. This kind of takes our power back. And so, of course, the ego won't give up easily, and it will bring you this thoughts again to stop you from doing the shift, doing the change, doing the work, doing the feelings, just to keep you safe and quiet in the corner. All right, so let me check on my notes. Another reminder is that the good kind of self mantra to when you're starting worrying about the future or thinking about things, is to tell yourself that I'm so trusting that you already know everything that you need to know when you need to know it. So our human mind is curious. We want to know what's going to happen. We want to know things. And sometimes we keep, you know, thinking and creating scenarios just to have an idea of why things happen the way they're happening, or why people say what they say, or why we act the way we act. When we think about it, again, our underlying feeling of the situation is unconscious. When we logically use emotions by analyzing them, we do not actually aware of the feeling behind the actions. And yes, by kind of creating this mantra that I don't need to think about it. Yes, I know what I need to know right now. And when I need to know something else, I'll know it when I need it. And this creates this like trust with your higher self, with yourself, with your heart, that you don't need to, worry about anything and overthink that, and just detach and letting go of that fear that if you don't think, then something will happen or something won't happen. Again, this is all coming from this survival mode, and then of seeing yourself as a body. So primal goal is to survive, and many people worry about survival of the body because they identify with body. And so this is like all the goal of the life, to keep body alive, to let body experience the life, when we are trying to kind of remember who we are, and then have trust that our journey is, fruitful and long lasting. Yeah, I mean, divine timing. So we're trusting the divine timing, and whatever is meant to be will be. And another thought is coming, reminder that do not stop that process of letting go. So I know by myself, with my own experience, that like after doing a few things and feeling more in control and better, we kind of might forget that this is just the tip of an iceberg. And the more we dig into our subconscious, the deeper we go. There's no stop of doing this. It's becoming your like second nature when you come across the feeling, emotion rising. And I will share the technique of how to dig into what is underlying feeling of the action or situation, or like how you feel. But it's always something to let go of. It's something, always let go of the thought, let go of the desire, let go of the ideas, the feelings, letting go of attachments, letting go of beliefs, and releasing these feelings that we're not aware of. And it's really interesting, like you have to release of something that you don't know about. And this is another kind of resentment, resistance coming from the ego, that like that logic starts tapping in and is like, how am I releasing of something that I don't know what it is? And then the spiritual perception of it is that when we're letting go of mind and trusting our heart, opening up our spiritual connection to everything is on a vibrational level, we'll be going to quantum field and letting go of physical body. We can perceive everything. And so knowing that we're not body, and then maybe we're not, as a human, not aware of higher perspective of the situation we are finding ourselves in. But if we are shifting into who we truly are on an energetic level and becoming aware in a higher perspective of things, we can see, literally can see and feel all the reasons and of things and how they happen and why. And sometimes we just need to surrender to what it is, because it brings the clarity, that brings some kind of, for somebody lesson, for somebody realization. We have to go through certain lessons in life. They are predetermined in a way, because that's something that you have to go through to graduate to next level, to next dimension or next step of your evolution. All right, and another thing, let go of beliefs that sound something like that we only deserve things through hard work. So those are poverty beliefs, poverty and struggle and victimhood mentality beliefs that are embedded in us since dawn of time, and we're not blaming, but we are responsible into releasing them and really creating different reality for us, and that's why we're here. Yay. Okay. So any beliefs that are connected to thoughts that we only can get things through hard working, through struggle, through sacrifice, and through effort. So if you think that you only can get money through struggling hard work, you only can get attention through sacrificing what you like and doing things that other like. You only can, if you think that you only can get love of friends, or if you try hard through effort, if you do things for others, people pleasing. So when you give yourself up for others because this thing you are thinking that you're not worthy enough to just have things just as is without you doing anything about it. So maybe think, write it down, journal about any thoughts that coming up. So we're starting from reverse engineering to the feeling. So what are thoughts are coming up about your self-worth, your abundance, about money? What do you think about money? What do you think about you having money? And just reverse it. So if you think, so for example, money don't grow on trees and you have to work hard to get them. And then this thought means that you think that you can't. So somebody told you probably in childhood, like I was, they told me that you have to work hard to have money. That is so not easy, and then you only can get minimum, and it's bad to have a lot of money because money make you bad person and all that. So this is this baggage from poverty mentality from generation to generation to generation, just passing along for us to carry. And we are the warriors who are no longer wish to carry this baggage, and we let it go. And so next is, if you are suffering, is beneficial or good for us. So there is ideas. So there is a very thin line between thinking that because I'm suffering or I'm going through stuff, that means God is so that is good for me. That it means that I deserve it. I need to go through it because I'm no good. I need to go through this and that and that, and this is good for me. Or for example, sacrificing yourself in your family, your own interests, just to create this reality where everybody love you because you sacrifice yourself. Those are again limiting beliefs. They're based on these feelings of not loving yourself, or maybe you've been denied, abandoned, and left alone. So you have this belief predetermine some kind of reflex feelings. I'm getting like it was for me when there was hot and cold. So they punish you, abuse you, and then because of their self guilt and everything, they come to you to cuddle, to kind of make themselves feel better. And as a child, you don't know that. You think that every time after you got in trouble, you got beaten up, abused, or whatever, punished, grounded, and then comes the loving, loving benefits of the parents, and or loving price. And if you go through this terrible moment, then you get some kind of reward in the end. And so this may be creating the belief that like you have to go through something difficult and terrible. Like that's why maybe many people stay together in relationship, knowing that like if we push through this storm, we've been together a lot, we're gonna push through everything and stay together no matter what. And in the end, everything will, rewarding and good. And this is again putting us into the relieving some abuse and relieving the situation to keep feeling that feeling until we don't realize that, oh my God, this like I'm relieving my abuse every day for like 10 years. And then now we are moving out from that. So realizing this, if any belief that you need to go through some terrible things for you to be successful. Again, it's like poor mentality. We have this in my country where like through how is it? Через терник звездам. So that means like you're going through this tough times, and this is how life is, because the collective probably think this. So like we collectively created this reality where you have to keep pushing through the hard times, and then this will bring you to the stars. And where we are in our new earth, trying to create a reality where like we are stars already now, and everything now available to us. So we dismantling the idea of the harsh world out there, that it's like it's so impossible to leave, and then creating like it's some self punishment, some kind of structure where through pain we recreate more pain and recreate more pain and live in it, and we like, all right, we live in this pain, but there's a light in the end of the tunnel, and let's just hope for that. And there's no more. Another belief that we want to let go of right away in the beginning, before we diving into any emotions. And then one is we don't get anything for nothing. Again, and the belief that have the idea that you have to pay for everything, that and again, as I'm saying it, I'm feeling like, yeah, that's true, that's like how I always thought, and then I'm realizing that this is actually this limitation, that the belief of poverty mentality and victimhood, that like we cannot get things because we don't have nothing to give in return. There is like we have to again sacrifice something, give something, lose something to get something else. And as I'm saying it, like I'm feeling how my mind, I have this dissonance, because like it makes sense on my energetic level how we can flip and shift and quantum jump into this thinking that how things now, and jumping into the things that how we can imagine things can be. Ooh. Okay, next is simple things aren't worth much. Yeah, this one is really about gratitude and appreciating small things, because if we think that simple things like taken for granted everything, like here in Houston, we had the hurricane burial, and like many people still don't have lights. And remembering myself, like before ever losing power here in Houston, before I moved here, we like rarely lose power. We're always like, if you pay your bill, you always guarantee have your power. And here, like disaster comes and you kind of lose control, and something that you took for granted goes away, and you realize how much you depend on this, how much you depend on ACs, how much you depend on technology and everything. So just appreciating small things, knowing that everything is possible, that everything is here now, and just letting go of anything that the beliefs that bring resistance to the technique, the beliefs that bring any kind of bring doubt, bring fear, bring any resistance to the to your desire to change and shift. Okay, let's see. Now let's talk a little bit more about the fear and our primal human goal of survival. So this is, we're talking about anatomy of the emotions, where the emotions coming from actually. So our primal human desire is to survive and reproduce, to survive. So survive yourselves and in your family and reproducing, and we in our goal to make sure the survival of our children and generation after generation after generation. And again, we more care about survival of the body because more people think that, you know, body is what they are, and that create a lot of separation, limitation, and it makes you feel vulnerable because you are alone. You are alone in the universe because you think this is just who you are, this body. And when you don't have people around you who supports you, then that creates all the stress, sense of lack, and the fear. And the fear is the loss of capacity to experience. So when you're full of fear, you cannot experience anything else except fear. And that's really kind of clashes with the goal of life itself, is to experience life, experience and have happiness and have all the spectrum of experience that makes us need to move, need to explore, need to go out there. But if we're full of fear, of course we get stagnant, we're not moving anywhere, we're not doing anything, and we just kind of just barely surviving. And so what mind does is creating this, mind is a mechanism of protection. So when we're full of fear, and maybe it's going back to like first humans where they lived outside and they were like always hunted and they would really need to survive every minute of every day, and then the mind came up as a guide to kind of give us instructions when we fear, like to where to go, what to do, and to control or send the signals, mind using emotions. So because emotions create thoughts, so when we have so let's say like emotions, when we have like some kind of emotion that is used by our mind to navigate, to control us, to keep us safe and ensure the survival of the body, of the existence. So the mind creates this emotion that activates thought, or thousands of thoughts, or thought patterns, or some kind of thought programming that then activates in you that need to act certain way, do certain things, go hide, or like wherever programming is happening. So the mind again uses emotions to create thoughts to convince us into doing certain things that the mind believes will ensure our survival. The mind believes that this will help us to survive. And it doesn't necessarily means that it will help us survive. It's just like what the mind is believing. And then our goal now, as we are ascending and we are working ourselves to, elevate and to grow and to let go of the fear, overcome fear, and achieve happiness. So this is the goal of the human life, is to overcome fear and achieve happiness. And our emotions are connected to the belief that will ensure our survival. That's why we are letting go of the emotions in this series to understanding that the emotions is a tool of ego to ensure our survival. So we're not blaming the mind to trying to keep us safe, but we are transforming and rewriting the programming of the mind, because mind is basically a computer that just have programs based on experience, and then we're running that program, and now we're consciously looking into the program, because program was created unconsciously. As we were kids, we weren't able to consciously program ourselves, but now we can, as we becoming more aware, more ascent, and more awakened to the reality of who we actually really are. And so emotions, the cause of the basic fear and desire to seek security. Again, this is a protective mechanism that we developed through thousands of years, and there's nothing wrong with it. It secured our survival for many years, but it also kept us bound, or captured, or maybe distracted of reality through this thought process. So it's kind of, I'm getting the first, it was intentions to help us kind of calculate things to make life easier. So for the experience, now mind can calculate the picture, create the program, and then run that program every time when we have the repeating situation. Then the negative or false of that idea, that program, is that the mind doesn't change the program, because every other situation that coming up have different circumstances, have different intentions, different energies, but the base the same. And then that's why it's very important to be in present now moment, so we can actually recalibrate the situation at now moment and act accordingly, and not just repeat the same pattern of actions in the similar situations. And that's what we do when we unconscious all the programming that's running us. We just repeat the program regardless of how circumstances of the similar situation changed. And then maybe that's why we're creating this, sometimes we just act weird, because that's triggered the certain response because of the familiar similar situation. But at this now moment, it was kind of out of whack, because it didn't collide with the circumstance of the now moment, because we weren't actually present and aware, and we were just replaying the past experience in our head and acting accordingly to that. And so that's why thinking about those situations, having anxiety and regret, and thinking, oh my God, I was acting stupid, or what was I doing, or what was I thinking, or why did I act this way? This is not going to help. It's going to create just another layer of the emotions. So in here, we're going to learn how to really tap into feeling these feelings that are running our programming, and letting go of them, and making us more in control of ourselves, more aware of the programs and energetics running through our system, and then we're releasing more and more triggers. So when situation happens that are previously, like patterns from the past, but now when we're more aware of what's going on, we can choose how to react. We can choose what's more, in alignment with the situation, with energy, and where you want to go with this. So you get to choose like what's going to happen next, instead of just being frozen and observing how body takes care and doing things that you don't know what's happening. That happened to me a lot. So I know what I'm talking about, and I'm learning still, and I'm grateful that I'm doing this, and I'm helping myself and you guys too. And so there is to finalize today's session is to present this little exercise that I'm inviting you to all to do in order to be able to tap into underlying feelings that we have. So every time that you have the action that you make based on, like when you feel, I don't know why I'm doing this, why this pattern keep coming up, what's going on, and then, or if you have some kind of desire that you don't know, or you have like addiction or something, intrusive thoughts, or something that is on your mind all the time, wanting to be heard, acknowledged, and let go of. So we are just gonna take that thought and just keep asking yourself what for. In this book, they have an example about like, if you want a certain car, what for? And the answer would be like to gain prestige and have like people respect me. And then you're asking yourself again, why? Like, what for you need that respect? What for you need that prestige? And the answer might be like something like to feel, secure, to feel confident, to feel somebody. And then again, you're asking yourself, what for? Why do you need to feel somebody? Why do you need to feel confident? Like, why do you need to feel this? And then the answer will be like to gain respect or to feel loved. And then you tapping in, and until, sorry, my throat is opening up. I should have grabbed some water with me. Until you tapping into the underlying feeling. So everything mostly coming into just wanting to feel loved, wanting to feel emotionally fulfilled, wanting to feel noticed. And again, we're asking why, what for you want to feel certain thing, until we tap into what we think is wrong with us, because we want the thing from out there. We want other people give us something that we think we lack of. And so tapping into this underlying feeling, what is running you, what is the programming, what is the feeling, what is the desire that running you to do certain things, to make action. What for? Why do you need this? And dive deep into what it is you think, you believe you need from out there because you don't have it. And then let go of that idea. Let go of the idea that you don't have the thing that you're seeking out there. And it's all practice of letting go. And like, why do I think I don't have this? Because I tell you that the thing that you want, the thing that you're longing for, is there already, because that's why you're longing it, because you deny it in yourself. You are infinite being, you have everything. So if you think that you lack something, that means that you denied yourself the presence of that thing for one and another reasons. And it's a lot of shadow work, inner child work, tapping into, past situation that triggered that belief, that created that belief. Maybe you, as a child, you were denied something, or you were punished unfair, and then that created the belief that you don't have something, and then you need to do something to get that because you think you don't have it. So this is a lot of self-work, and of course I'm here for you if you have any questions, or if you want to work one-on-one, and we can go through it in personal sessions. And just a few words about the scale of emotions, because next, let me share the screen. Next episode will be, we were gonna talk about the emotions, about shame, guilt, and apathy. But for now, just looking at the scale, and to just reiterate that everything is energy. All the objects, all the nature, all the tables, all the people, all the animals, all the objects, everything made of energy, everything exhibits energy, everything is having vibration, and there is positive and negative vibration energy. And so we're not saying that it's good or bad, we're just saying that it's a spectrum and we have two ends of the spectrum in this physical world. And then you can usually easily say if the person is a positive person or is it a negative person by just observing how they talk and how they act. And then positive person would be very genuine, very, happy, nice, and positive again. And the negative person would be greedy or hateful or, negative. So this is really directly correlates with like the energies of the chakra system. As you can see here on the scale, the colors represent the chakra systems, and it correlates directly to our energetic levels of every feeling and desire. And for example, if you see the red, the lower point of red represents root chakra. And the correlating energies would be shame, guilt, and apathy. And for example, those feelings are just bare survival. People who are like dwelling in those energies are often wanting to exit life, or they don't have, any spark, any energy to create anything. So this really heavy energies, and they're in root chakras just because the root represents our survival, our security. So if we lack this, if we have a belief that we lack the security, that we feel shame for survival, or shame for existence, or guilt for existence, or apathy that we don't want to even leave, so we don't have the security of being here, right? So if we're rising up into our creative center, we might have this fear and grief and desire. Here is already like grief and fear, the moving. So fear is already kind of more energetically moving energy, because like based on fear we act as if like if you have apathy, you won't even try to survive. You will be just like whatever, like what happens. Or like if you right? So sometimes if you have fear, you can like jump into desire to live, to survive, and then we jump to courage to do something about it, and then you can jump to acceptance and so we can really shift at any time through all the frequencies. Of course, if we don't have any blockages, like on the higher chakras that connect into spirituality. But we will start with this lower chakras right now to release these blockages, to really have this joy of life present throughout your chakra system. And then So all the energies up to courage considered like very contracting, so really distracting energies. So all the energies of pride, when people prideful, when they operate on anger, I mean, feeling those feelings and emotions and every given moment is totally fine, and we are kind of learning to be flexible and able to allow those energies just fluctuate and come and go without affecting us and our actions. You can still feel a grief and apathy and fear in certain days, or you can be like full of love and acceptance the other day. So this is totally normal. We're just talking about constantly and consistently operating on only lower energies. Like every day you wake up and you enter on the world, you don't have any moments, you don't have any thoughts about like positive feelings, so you don't even have experience of higher, like, spiritual awareness or awakening and feeling love in your heart. So some people just live in anger every day after day, and they don't know anything else. And that's what we're talking about when we consistently and constantly operating on the lower frequencies, like on shame. We're always feeling shame, like when we wake up with shame, or with grief. And we will talk about grief. Of course, there's different aspects to it. And the same with desires. The desires could be a positive thing if it's applied to, like more higher intentions. And some desires may be like very consuming and creating the addiction, creating this, guilt, for example, for desiring the thing. And it's all interconnected. So we will go and tap into those things more and more as we go, and just to finalize, and that like the higher energies of like enlightenment, peace, joy, love, reason, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, and courage are our strengths and our powerful frequency that gives us powers, and that creates strengths. And then the lower frequencies as a pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame. Those are weaknesses because they are forceful. They want to take energy from others, from you, and so they create the force that it weakens the vibration. And then when we're positive and we want to like wish people good, and we loving and sharing, and we have power because we strengthen the energy and vibration. All right, I think we kind of really come to the moment where we can really tap into every single one of those emotions, have practices on how we can work with those, how we can tap into the emotions, how we can let go of this. And we're going to practice, and together on this journey we will achieve our enlightenment. Yay! All right, thank you for being here with me. Please leave me comments how you feel, what resonates, if you have anything to share, or email me if you want to work more closer and deeper on anything, any emotional, baggage that you wish to let go and you don't know where to start, or maybe something feels confusing. And I'm here to guide the light to you, to bring you the light, the awareness, the realization, bringing everything unconscious to the conscious so we can let it go. All right, I'll wish you all good night, and I'll see you next time.